Hello from the Dorhad Valley, Mongolia. For those of you who are interested, I just wanted to show what the typical living arrangements look like that I've been working with here. I've been here for about a week now, and I've been set up in a traditional Mongolian, what we would call a yurt, or what the Mongolians called a ger. And I just wanted to show you what that typically looks like and what my living arrangements are like for those of you who care. So this is what the typical ger looks like on the inside. I'm sitting at a little table, and you can see right there there's a stove and a firewood supply that we use at night and in the morning to warm the place up. It actually can get pretty hot in here. And what this structure is made out of is actually felt made from sheep's wool. Pressed into sheets, and that forms the walls that you're looking at. Of course, there's a covering on them, a cloth covering, but underneath the cloth covering that you see there's actually 2 layers of thick felt, and it keeps things pretty warm. If you look at the top, there's a wood structure that keeps everything together and keeps it from caving in on itself. There's also a smoke hole at the top, which you probably can't see because it's really bright. A smoke hole at the top with a smokestack from the stove, and also lets in a little bit of light. There's also 2 beds. That's my bed, and that's another bed on the side. And we've got tables and chairs and all of the equipment we're going to be using for the research project over the next few months at least. So we're only here temporarily. We'll be moving into a much smaller ger during the winter that's more easily transportable when we follow the herders in this region on their autumn migration to their winter pastures. Some general questions that I get a lot about living in this kind of arrangement is, number one, how do you get electricity? People often assume that nomadic herders here don't have any power or electricity or anything like that, and that's not the case. And the way we do it, at least here, and I'll show you the equipment, is we have a battery that's connected to a solar panel that we keep on the outside. Now, it's a really rainy day today, so we're not getting any charge out of it really, but we have it plugged in to this adapter that lets you charge your phone, your laptop. We also have it to power that light right there that we use at night that lights this whole place up. Then we got a place to keep food. We have a place to hang clothes and equipment. I've got all of my electronic stuff in dry bags because it's pretty humid right now, even though it's really cold. And we're at the end of September, so things are really changing right now with the temperature and the precipitation. Things are starting to move into winter. There really isn't much of a fall. So this is what the front door looks like. Actually a pretty low front door. Now I'm only 5'5", so it's pretty easy for me to get out of this door. But I'll show you what things look like on the outside. We're actually living in what they call a hasha, which is a place that townspeople, we're in a town right now, set up and they build houses on them. So we're staying with a family here and eating with them and living with them. So as you can see, things are pretty windy and cold and cloudy today. And I'll show you what the ger looks like on the outside. It has a white covering, and I'll show you under that white covering you can see the felt. This is what the felt walls look like. You can even see the animal hairs and everything. So here's our solar panel that we have hooked up to that battery on the inside. And it's just one panel, and it gives you enough power to charge whatever you need. You could probably even power a TV off of it, and a lot of the nomadic herders here do. And if you look around, you can see what the town looks like around me. This family has a few cows out in the pastures, and this is hay for the winter that they're saving to feed the animals when the conditions get really harsh here. One other question we get is, where do you go to the bathroom? There's no running water inside of there. So where do you go to the bathroom? Where do you get water? And I'll show you that in just a second. This is what the family's house looks like. So you can see they have a big satellite dish on the front of their house, and they have satellite TV in there. So it's actually pretty comfortable and pretty warm inside these cabins. This is also a motorcycle that we bought. We figured, doing research, at least for the first few months, it's more cost effective to buy and use one of these little motorcycles that has about a 16-liter tank on them, and it costs about 25,000 tugruks to fill up. That's about $12 US, and it gets between 80 and 100 kilometers per liter. So we haven't drained it, we haven't refilled it since we've had it. I'm not really accustomed to riding motorcycles, so I've already fallen off a couple of times, bruised up my leg pretty bad, messing with the clutch and the gas and the timing on changing gears on that. But I'm doing better with it, as you'll see in some of the other videos I'll post. So the next question is, where do you go to the bathroom? And I'll show you that right now. Now there's no running water, so there's no toilets. And that's not a problem, but what people do is they dig open pit outhouses, and I won't show you what it looks like on the inside, because you're probably not that interested in seeing that, but I'll show you what it looks like on the outside. Here is where you go to the bathroom. So in here, there's a wooden structure and wooden floor, and on the inside, you just kind of do your business. There's also a little opening right here. Consider that the Mongolian equivalent, or at least a Mongolian countryside equivalent to a urinal. I'll show you what the town looks like a little bit. So it's mostly wooden structures. The view is actually really awesome. You can see those mountains in the distance, and it's all Siberian larch trees, which are coniferous trees, but they lose their needles. So they're really beautiful in the fall when all the needles turn yellow and then fall off. So now I'll show you a little bit of what a typical street in the town center here, which is known as Renchinkhlumbe Sum. A sum is like the Mongolian equivalent to a county in the US. And I'll show you what the street looks like now. So there are a lot of Jeeps, and there are no paved roads within about 150 kilometers from here, maybe more. You go in that direction, there's the government office, there are stores and shops, and in that direction there's just kind of residential houses where people live. So this is what a typical place in northern Mongolia looks like. Now it's getting pretty cold out here, so I'm gonna move back inside, and then we'll cut the video there. I hope you enjoyed seeing a glimpse of what life is like here and kind of what I'm doing while I'm here.